Hello there, my name is Marcus. Let's turn this over for more lighting. And this is the final tabletop reviews of 2024. And also the final tabletop review in Lord of the Rings month. And I'm going to bring off the title here because I'm bringing you Lord of the Rings Duel for Middle-earth. The newest Lord of the Rings game that is currently out. Because that new trick taking game is not technically out yet, I believe. But that will of course be the newest once it is out. Lord of the Rings Duel for Middle-earth, huge Essen release, I believe. And I know it had a huge Essen release. Very tired of me not being capable of being at Essen this year. We'll definitely try and go next year, it's one of my goals, but for now, let's have a look at how this is set up and played. Okay, last setup of 2024 here. So there's a few things, and I will do it the long way because it actually takes up a lot of space. So you have this area here, which will hold all the figures eventually, but these little slots up here will contain these shield tokens. There's a whole bunch of them for every single race. So I'll place those in here. And then I would take these square ones, just give them a little shuffle, and then place them on top here, where you'd flip over the top three. We'll get into how they work in just a second, of course. Then I would take the track here, put it on the bottom, and then place this one so it's at the very end here. Then you grab the little Nazgul character here and place it at the other end. That's about as little equally long to them. Then of course you have the very importance of the coins. And then you have the mix of towers and soldiers for each player. I'm just gonna grab a few of them here for each player. Then you decide whoever wins start the game. So the shadow starts the game, gets 1 coin. The free peoples go second and get 2 coins. And of course you will set up each age according to these ones. So this is age 1. The dark cards are face down, the light cards are face up. Age 2 and age 3. So let me just do a setup here. It's a bit bad because I'm just kind of rushing through it. Bam. Okay. And on your turn, quite simply, you'll take one of the cards that are completely available to you. So when we go down here, for example, these were taken, then this card would be flipped over. Now that is available. And the cards do quite simple things. So, gold cards give gold, the amount it says here, 2 coins, right? Grey cards is sort of resources, so you'll use these later to purchase other cards. Red cards is war, so you place a figure to the amount that it says in here. In the first stage is 1, in the second stage is 2, and the third stage is 3. Into one of these locations. You can choose both. Choose one of them to place it in. And of course, this one also shows a silver mob here. That is of course a card that you will get access to for free later on if you have this card. Ring cards allow you to move once on the ring track. Either you move this entire big piece if you're the free peoples, or just move the Nazgul if you are the Shadow. You have the green cards here, which again they have. Is this not H2? It is. Access to other ones, and later on, this is the cost. It costs 1 book symbol, which is, as you can see here, a resource. And once you have one of these guys, nothing happens. But if you do end up getting, hold on, here we go, 3 different symbols. Let's start with that one. 3 different symbols. You will take the top from these piles over here. As you can see, they share the symbol. You flip them over and you get to choose one of these bonus tiles to keep. They all do different things and I can't go through all of them right here, right now. If you, and I need H2 to showcase that, get 2 of the same, you get to take the top 2 from that pile and choose between one of those. Yes. Now, as I said, just as a show, the red cards, you add a character in here. Now let's say the shadow then gets to add 2 to this location. Then there would be a little mini fight. And basically 1 defeats 1. So in this instance, this one will eliminate one of the shadow characters, and one of the shadow characters will eliminate this one, ending with 1 shadow character being on this location. And the ways to win are quite simple. Reach the end of the ring track either as 3 peoples all the way over here, or as the Nazgul ending on top of the hobbits. Have control in every single area in here, which is a soldier everywhere, or have 6 different types on the green cards. Now these ones that I put up here are fortifications, which allow you to build a tower, plus sometimes a soldier and some other bonuses, right? This one is just a tower, this one is a tower and a soldier. It costs all of these resources plus an amount of coins to how many towers you have. So if you have 1 tower, it's 1 coin. If you have 0 towers, it's 0 coins. But you then build a tower, let's just say with this one. Where was this? It was Gondor. Then even though if this one comes down here, then you both have control in this region because you have that tower. This is one of the key ways to win the military victory. Yeah, once all cards have been drafted from in here, you set up the next age, continue, next age, continue. And for the end, if no one triggers the endgame scoring, then whoever has the most military wins. If there's still a try, it's a tie. Simply. So a very simple setup and gameplay of it. Of course, this you have multiple levels in setup as you have to set up the cards every round, but that's fine. It is very, very simple, and that is always a bonus if you ask me. Now this is of course based on 7 Wonders Duel. It's very obvious when you see the setup and how the gameplay works that it is very much based on this one. And it's basically that 2.0. 7 Wonders Duel I gave a 7 out of 10 to. I did enjoy it. Some aspects I didn't, but most I did. It was fine. Very good game. And this is definitely a refined version of it. And then adding the Lord of the Rings theme, just, man, that brings it up. So the gameplay with the drafting is fine. It's a very good way of doing a sort of a drafting method for 2 players. And this thing where you can see something that's coming up, but not all of it, works so really, really well. Because you definitely have situations in the games that I've played where somebody removes a card, shows up the card, and it's just perfect for the other player. But you also have this part where you can manipulate it, or try to at least, so that you get, I want you to remove this card so that I can get this card. And you try to manipulate that against one each other. So it is a very awesome way of doing this drafting mechanism, which really goes back and forth in this 2-player game. I cannot see it work in more than 2 players, so it definitely is a 2-player mechanic, if you want to call it that. And how all the other cards work is so much more interesting than in 7 Wonders Duel or in just 7 Wonders, right? The military is a constant action back and forth. Obviously in regular 7 Wonders or 7 Wonders Duel, where the military shoots back and forth, it might score you a couple points, but it's not gonna be that important. You're never gonna push it. That's at least something that I feel like, right? Where, like, if you go heavy on military, well, 7 Wonders Duel is a little bit different, but in the regular 7 Wonders, it's not necessarily going to be a win. Every one of those cards is going to be, maybe you can push out, what is it? 10, 16, 18 points, right? Maybe from those cards. That is if you're not challenged or anything. And 18 points is fine, but it's far from winning when some people can score 30 plus points on the green and the blue cards. And when you look into 7 Wonders Duel, sure, there is a win mechanism in that one, which will force your opponent to push back. But again, it is many cards to maybe not score as many points. But in this game, getting rid of the points, then every card is very, very important because you're pushing a win condition or you're getting coins. And that makes the military part so much more interesting, because you also, in the later one, I forgot to show that, with purple cards, you get the opportunity to remove military straight up or move your military around, which is so awesome, because you get all of a sudden this tactical movability with your cards. Can I get this one to move twice? Because that would give me strength here to maybe certify that one and take the back marker or something. All of a sudden you have also almost like a mini war game going on up here, whilst trying to tackle everything else. Moving again, and the same when moving on the ring track. When you just move as 1 or 2, it feels useless, but because it isn't points giving, that is pushing a win condition. And all of a sudden you are going to get bonuses if you move far enough on the track. The only one that really feels meh is the first 1 or 2 of your what's it called, the green, the Peoples of Middle-earth, right? Because nothing happens from those. It just gives you access to something later on, but nothing really happens from those, and you don't really get resources. So really the first 1 or 2 of those is the only one that feels like it is just building up to something better, until you can, of course, you get to either your third or the second of the same kind, because that is going to again give you these bonus tiles, which are really, really powerful. Or at least can be, depending on how you want to play it. Of course, getting gold is getting gold, it's very useful. And that's another part I really love, is if you're missing on a resource cards are also, like if you want to say resource cards and gold cards is the same, it's giving you something useful to later on. But this thing where if you're needing a resource marker, you can just pay a coin. Just pay a coin, awesome. I also love how getting rid of a card in the first age is kind of completely useless. 1 coin. You can most definitely almost play it, 1 coin just isn't that good. Second age, 2 coins, bit better, and third age, 3 coins. It can be useful to simply get rid of this card to get those 3 coins. So I love how that evolves into actually being more useful in the later rounds. Great on that one. So basically I love all these points of it in the gameplay. The theme, it comes out in terms of at least the artwork, right? Beautiful, beautiful artwork by Andrew Bosley, I believe. Does it say on here? No. But I believe it's Andrew Bosley, that's how you pronounce his name, I believe. It's the same guys that did Everdell, I believe, as well. Beautiful, beautiful artwork on all the cards, it really brings it out. I think the only ones I'm a little bit annoyed by is the blue cards, because every card is different. The war cards bring in warriors and, you know, these fights, almost fight scenes on it. Usually with orcs, but really cool looking. This is a war card. The gold cards, again, they evolve. The more value they have, the more gold is on the artwork. The more you can see it. Awesome symbolism with that as well. The landmark tiles, the big ones, the square ones, they call landmark tiles. Again, you see this location if you know a little bit about the universe, or just have seen the movies or something. It really looks like that location, you know what it is. The tracker that you see is going through Middle-earth in such a straight panoramic view, a little slowed down. It's such a cool way to see this journey that the hobbits will be on. Super awesome. And as well with all the resource cards, very cool, sort of symbolic with what you see on that one, you know, books. Oh, this is sort of a library, smart people, okay, fair enough. And then you have the blue cards, as I say, they're just kind of the same on all the cards, not very different the way I feel. It's just got them maybe sitting on a few different ways. They're a little bit boring. But other than that, the artwork is absolutely amazing. Component control quality is pretty good. I think the coins I'm a little unhappy about. They feel so very thin and fragile. But the these shield tokens that are when you have the peoples feel pretty good. Your units and your towers feel really good as well. The central playing board, the war board, as I said. It's really cool. The landmark targets, the cards feel quite good when you just draw them. You don't have them in hand, maybe they would feel less good in that one, but you get them in. So really, thumbs up on artwork, thumbs up on theme, thumbs up on gameplay. So, does it allow you? 2 players, 10 and up, 30 minutes to play. So, sure, 30 minutes. When you know how to play it, it's just shuffling out the cards if you want to do it properly, opposite what I did. that takes a little bit of time. I like to do it proper, but like not that much time. So 30 minutes is a very accurate thing. 2-player, I just mentioned in the gameplay. This way of drafting works so well at 2 players, and I think if you just added a 3rd player, it would be a lot worse. So it is really a 2-player game. That of course exists from 7 Wonders Duel. I will have to remember to say that it's not original from this game. It doesn't change the fact that it's a really good way of doing a 2-player drafting. And 10 and up, yeah, sure. I mean, you just need to understand this thing about the chaining the cards, right? I think that's the most difficult thing to sort of understand, but you could definitely play against someone in that younger, early 10 bracket with this game. So my final score for this game is going to be 10 out of 10. A little bit of a spoiler, it's the best game from this month. I've saved the best for last. It's kind of that way I've tried to do it, except with Risk I quickly did a video on. Really an amazing game, one of the best games of this year. Well, today is Sunday the 29th, so on Tuesday I will release my top 10 games from this year. So you won't have to wait long to know where this one fits in on that list. And yes, it is Sunday, not Saturday, because Saturday just kind of came and went. So I'm trying to get a little bit done here on Sunday, but thank you very much. By the way, I'm keeping it 100%. But thank you very much for watching the final tabletop reviews of 2024. Stay tuned for next week, where I will have a bunch of top 10 lists ready to go. Maybe not tabletop reviews. I'm posting a lot of videos. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!